What's going on, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. We are continuing my CompTIA CySA Plus guide, and right now we're on the general topic of threat intelligence and the subtopic of attack frameworks. Now let's get straight into it. What is an attack framework? In cybersecurity, an attack framework is a structured model or tool used to describe, analyze, and understand the tactics, techniques, and procedures, or TTPs, that attackers use to compromise systems. An attack framework provides a common language and structure for cybersecurity teams to simulate threats, analyze adversary behavior, improve detection and defense, and develop incident response strategies. What type of frameworks are out there? So you have the MITRE attack or MITRE attack, the cyber kill chain by Lockheed Martin, and the diamond model of intrusion analysis. And there are other attack frameworks out there, but these are the main three that you have to know for the exam. So the MITRE attack, or adversarial tactics, techniques, and common knowledge, MITRE is a company, by the way, is a publicly accessible framework developed by the MITRE Corporation to document and to categorize cyber attacker behavior based on real-world incidents. So these are the components of the MITRE attack. So you have the tactics. What are the tactics? Those are the goals of the attacker that's trying to achieve. Like what kind of objective is he trying to do to this particular system? Is he trying to gain initial access? Is he trying to stay in the system or persistence? Or is he trying to increase the privilege or the authorization that he has within that system, or privilege escalation? The type of techniques that they use, how are the attackers achieving those goals? Whether it's phishing, credential dumping, man in the middle, etc., or sub-techniques, more granular details of how the techniques are executed. All right, next up, we have the diamond model of intrusion analysis. Can't English today. So the diamond model of intrusion analysis is a structured analytical framework used in cybersecurity to understand, document, and analyze cyber intrusions and adversary behavior. It emphasizes relationships between four core features of any intrusion: the adversary capability, the infrastructure, and the victim. At the heart of the diamond model is the idea that every cyber intrusion event involves four core components, which form the vertices of the diamond. So you have the adversary, the person or group conducting the attack, the infrastructure, the systems, domains, tools, and communication channels the adversary uses, the capability, the tools, malware, exploits, or techniques used in the intrusion, and the victim, the target of the intrusion. These four nodes, or the vertices of the diamond, are connected by relationships that describe how the components interact during a cyber event. Relationships, or to mention that. And then the adversary uses infrastructure to deliver a capability against a victim. Each component is connected, showing cause and effect or action relationships. This structure, I made an error here. So this structure helps analysts trace the flow of attack and identify patterns, potential attribution, and defensive strategy, right? So I made a duplicate here. So pretty much from relationships to this structure, that's what you need to take account of. Excuse my editing mistake there. All right, so continuing with the diamond model of intrusion analysis, so analytical benefits. So with the diamond model, you can kind of see the relationships that each part have. So you can see how the victim part of the relationship goes with the tools and so on and so forth. So it gives more of like a visual picture of how they link up together. So you have the correlation of events, the attribution support, so you can help link to see seemingly unrelated incidents to the same threat actor by analyzing shared components. The attack chain context, So it complements models like the cyber kill chain or the MITRE attack by offering a relationship or relational perspective, right? The scalability, so events can be linked across multiple diamonds to give a broader picture of campaigns or intrusion sets called activity groups. So for example, suppose you have a phishing email, right? And it's sent and it has a malicious attachment. So with the diamond model, you can, like in this example, you can see that the adversary is an APT28, right? Its infrastructure is a spoof domain. Its capability is custom malware that's embedded in a Word document, and the victim is a U.S. defense contractor, right? And you can see how each of these link together, and it gives you a visual picture of how the components correlate and mess with each other. And then that way, cyber analysts can pretty much make a baseline or log that information to make counter attacks or counter defenses against those type of attacks with the diamond model. And now we have the Lockheed Martin cyber kill chain. So the Lockheed Martin cyber kill chain is a cybersecurity framework that outlines the stages of cyber attack from initial reconnaissance to attacker's objective. It was developed by the Lockheed Martin Corporation in 2011. It helps security teams understand and disrupt an attacker's progress at each phase of the intrusion life cycle. So the overview of the kill chain is that first you have many parts of the kill chain, right? So number one, step one of the kill chain is that you have reconnaissance. What happens? So the attacker gathers information via OSINT, easy OSINT methods like social media, cell phone data, banking data. Well, not banking data, but like open source intelligence, like wikis, stuff like that. Domain lookups, like who is lookup, stuff like that. So this way, the goal of this is to identify weaknesses that can be exploited. And step two is that you have weaponization of that information that you gather. So the attacker, or weaponization in general, not necessarily the information, but you have weaponization. So the attacker creates a payload by combining malware with an exploit, pretty much based on the reconnaissance that they do, right, from step one. So methods could be packing a Trojan within a PDF, creating a malicious macro in Office doc. The goal is to build a deliverable to breach a system. Then the delivery. This is how the attacker transmits that payload or that weapon to the target. So it could be via phishing emails, USB drops, malicious links, drive-by downloads. The goal is to get the payload or the weapon onto the victim's system. Exploitation. What happens during exploitation? This is when the payload actually does its thing. The exploit is triggered, or it happens, and it targets the software or the human vulnerability. Exploitation could be in the form of buffer overflows, macro executions, credential phishing, and the goal of this is to execute attacker control code on the system, right, to exploit that particular vulnerability, basically. Number 5, or step 5, is the installation of that exploit. So what happens, a malware installs a persistent backdoor or implant. Methods, this can happen by dropping Trojans, modifying registries, creating scheduled tasks. The goal of this is to maintain access even after the user reboots his computer, right? 6 is command and control. This is what happens during this step. The compromised system connects to an external server to receive instructions. The methods of this is through HTTPS beacons, DNS tunneling, encrypted command control channels. This is to establish remote control over the system, so the bad guy can keep on siphoning data, information, or just having general control of that particular system. And then 7 is action on objectives. The attacker performs their goal, which I kind of highlighted in step 6. Data exfiltration, credential harvesting, lateral movement, system destruction. The goal to complete the mission of espionage, sabotage, or theft. The purpose and value of the kill chain. The strengths of it is that it's a proactive defense, enables detection and response at early stages, It has structured thinking that breaks down the complex attacks into manageable phases. Incident response support helps trace attacker movements and tactics. And then the alignment with detection tools like SIEMs or EDRs can be mapped to stages of the kill chain. In conclusion, attack frameworks like the MITRE ATT&ck, Cyber Kill Chain, and Diamond Model are used to understand, detect, and defend against cyber threats by providing structured insight into how attackers operate. Right? So that's basically what it is just pretty much a roadmap or a kind of template, if you will, in different ways. Each have their different kind of uses cases. Like MITRE ATT&ck is more detailed, right? So you can kind of break down the particular attacker or threat and categorize it so people can make baselines of it and make countermeasures to it and stuff like that. Kill chain is more, I would like to think, is more useful for incident response, quick response, trying to see what's happening, what step that the particular system is exploited at, whether it's, it's exploited or it's completely taken over, like in the C2 stage, or if they heard word of an attack that's about to happen or that could happen and they stopped it at, I don't know, the weaponization stage or something like that. So that's what the kill chain would probably be more useful in, like an incident response. And Diamond Model is more so for maybe tabletop or bigger view type deals where they're trying to figure out like, oh, this attack happened between this APT and or this say hacktivist and this system. This is what they use, so they can kind of see a visual kind of way of, oh, this is how this attack is orchestrated and whatnot. And a lot of the times these attack frameworks are used in tandem to kind of give a long or a wide and a deep overview and oversight of the different threats that may attack or may affect a particular IT system. But anyways, guys, that is attack frameworks for what should be on the exam for CySA Plus. If you guys have any questions or concerns, please leave it in the comment section below. And yep, that's all I have for today, and I'll see you in the next lecture. Peace out.